Check 1, 2, check. Looks like we got sound.
Check. We're here.
Yeah.
Back at her.
So, yeah.
What's on the agenda for today?
I don't know. I don't have a list as usual.
I made a list because it's been a couple of weeks.
A couple of weeks. I think we've been 3 weeks at least.
Really?
Yeah.
Including JB's solitary effort. That was pretty good. Did you listen to it?
Oh, yeah. Well, I produced it.
Oh, yeah, you did it. Sorry. Of course you did. You proofread it.
I proofed, listened.
Hey, I got lots,
You
man.
got lots?
I got a Duff's pick. I got a Lanark pick.
Well, I do have a couple stories we could get to.
Oh, yeah. I put your stories on my list, too, just in case you forget.
Yeah.
You're talking about, like, the near fire in the garage story?
Yeah.
And your band? Your DadBod band?
And the band, yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, I have Stittsville windows here.
Oh.
My vent. That's what I wanted to tell you. What's driving me nuts.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? I'm so sick of it that I'm bringing it up for the whole world to hear on the podcast.
Right.
That's how much it frustrates me.
Oh, really? That much?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We got lots.
Everything I own smells like fire, like campfire smoke.
Oh, yeah.
Because of all my campfires at the barn cave and yesterday's trip to the Cheshire. Anyhow, I got tons. We can talk about Ford. We can talk about the soup making. I mean, I'm ready to go.
It's been a few weeks, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready to roll.
I'm just going to put my thing on silent there.
Yeah, that would help.
Yeah.
Okay, because we don't want that happening during the real podcast.
No, exactly.
All right. Good.
Warning, this podcast will be an injurious waste of your time. Warning, this podcast will be an injurious waste of your time.
Yeah, good morning. I'll take a medium with 2 sugar and a medium regular, please.
Hey, DDT.
Duff, how are you?
I'm good. Happy 2020.
Happy 2022. 2020. 2022.
I wanted to see if you come out with the 2 part.
Yeah,
the Happy 2020 TOO. That's kind of the new hashtag going around.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, like Groundhog Day.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Same old shit.
Oh, my God.
Different pile.
We can get into that, too, but that would...
This was meant to be the place to go to not get into all that.
Yeah,
crap.
exactly. But we
We
should probably do a special one day on that.
I have a note.
Because we had like
even here today. I didn't bring this up with you yet.
Oh, okay.
In our precast, we didn't even talk about it.
Yeah,
I was thinking like a 2021 year in review type show.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Where we can either have like a top 10 of all the moronic decisions that we're all subject to, or just top 10 crazy things that have happened. I don't know.
Yeah, there's lots of crazy
top
things.
10, bottom 10.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah. So we're back after a long break in the Ford F-150 studio.
We're back here in BC in the Ford F-150 studio.
Yeah. And in the new year. Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Did you have a good break?
I had a really good break. I did. I came really close to going down to Lake Placid.
Okay, yeah.
Thinking way back. Like that was one of my goals throughout the fall was to get down there.
Yeah.
And it was all set.
Yeah.
It was all set.
Yeah.
All you needed.
Okay.
Oh, we should talk about Ziggy's trip.
Oh, Ziggy.
Remember I showed. Oh my God.
That's pretty funny.
That's a good one. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was always planning
It's going to be a long cast, I think, because we got so much to catch up on.
Buckle in, folks.
That's right.
Buckle in.
Sorry, go ahead.
You can watch this as you binge Yellowstone. Take a little break for CCC.
That's it.
Yeah, so no, I kept abreast of all the rules, and it was just going to be got the stupid app we had to get, put my vaccines on it.
Yeah.
And that was it. They had gotten rid of any sort of testing requirements for a very short window. Yeah, they did. Okay. So it was going to be down, spend a night or two, and, get my Walmart shopping, maybe do some cabin camping. I don't know. Ski Whiteface, do all the stuff I used to do monthly, basically, before 2020. Yeah. I would be in the States every month on average, if not more. Anyways. Yeah. So I was all ready to go. And then if your buddy, Justin, doesn't reinstitute the requirement for a negative PCR test to get back into your own country. And he did that on a Monday when I was planning to go on a Tuesday, I think, right after right after the break.
You know,
right?
I would be so happy. If he doesn't want me back in this country, then I'd be happy to stay in the States. You know? Seriously.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I'm getting there, man.
I'd be so happy to stay there. Maybe not New York, but, you know, travel down to...
Well, remember we talked about different jurisdictions and how, thank God, we don't live in Quebec. But then it was like, well, how come we can't have it, like, in some other places?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all about common sense, and it just doesn't seem to overlap with some of these clowns.
Well, as we were discussing...
I thought we're not supposed to talk about
we're
this.
not, but you're bringing it up, and then we can get to Ziggy. But, you know, as you were saying, like, before we started recording, was that people, like, it's different in Northern Ontario from Southern Ontario. However, the people in Northern Ontario are subject to the same things that the people in let's say, GTA are.
The same stupidity. I go back to that over and over, and it's like I'm advocating for them even though we don't live there.
Yeah.
But how can you blanket rules like these folks all over Ontario when it's so different up there?
Yeah.
Like, it's...
Exactly.
It's not fair. Like, if there was ever a case for separation, like, my gosh, what does, like, Kapuskasing need from Toronto?
Yeah.
Not a hell of a lot.
Well, even where we are, Ottawa to Toronto and GTA area, it's a completely different ballgame.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so doing it by, I mean, they've changed the goalposts so many times.
Of course
and they've changed the rules so many times.
Yeah.
That's what they were used to do over a year ago, was they were going by region.
Yeah.
But now they've changed that.
Which was it was a lesser of evils doing that,
Exactly.
which was at least somewhat fairer to places.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember all those color-coded zones, and now it's just,
Exactly.
Ontario's Ontario, whether you're in Attawapiskat or Thunder Bay or Brampton.
Exactly.
Not right. Anywho.
And then what happened to Ziggy?
Well, I didn't even finish mine.
Oh, your
so
story.
it's
You
like,
never went, though.
So I was close to going, and then I was still thinking, well, apparently I could have popped down, immediately went to Walgreens, got my free PCR test, because they're free down there, whereas they charge hundreds of dollars here.
Yeah.
Got my free PCR test, hoped it was negative. Would have had to have hoped it was negative for the days I was down there doing my thing and then come back. But too many unknowns, and I sure as hell wasn't going to do a PCR test here, which you could also do, by the way.
Yeah.
You could literally go to the shoppers over there, get your PCR test, wait for the negative result, then go to the States, come back, show them that. And hey, you've effectively stopped transmission of the virus while I was in the States the whole time because I had a negative test from the Bell's Corners drugstore. Like, it blows the mind, and it's super irritating. And I said, why are we talking about this?
Yeah, I don't know. But I got just get a quick aside. My daughter's boyfriend, their family went to Mexico over the break.
Nice. Good for them.
And
were they on the Sunwing party flight?
Oh, that I don't know. No, they weren't on that flight. They were not on the Sunwing party flight. But
yeah, I thought that looked like Lola. Imagine if she snuck off to Mexico with the family.
She was at home, so if she snuck off, then she did it stealthily. Anyway, so doesn't he test positive before he comes back? So I had to spend 2 weeks extra.
Oh, no kidding!
2 weeks extra in Mexico. What
the
a
whole
place
family?
to get stuck.
Or
No,
just
him and his dad, I think, just stayed there.
Did his dad come back and leave him there by himself?
No. I mean, they could have. I suppose he's 18, so I don't know.
But there's the stupidity in it again. Like, I don't understand.
I guess that was at their expense that they had to pay for the hotel.
But how have we abandoned Canadians like that? Like, what if, and I'm not saying I support that style. I'm too nervous to do something like that because I don't want to be stuck there.
Yeah.
But let's say you go skiing in the Alps and you break your leg. Are you allowed to come back with a broken leg and subject our healthcare system to the cost? Of course you are.
Well, yeah, exactly.
We wouldn't abandon Canadians for anything other than COVID.
But if you broke your leg at the Alps and then tested positive,
forget it.
You're not coming back.
Good point. Good point. Which is apparently how it's working here now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, heaven forbid you go into the hospital because I don't know, because you got blurry vision or a broken toe.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, you 50% chance you got COVID too, probably.
Yeah. And now you're counted as a COVID statistic.
There you go. Ziggy's trip.
Yeah,
My God,
Ziggy,
this is put a warning in, man.
Oh, this is the warning? Early?
Yeah.
Early warning.
We're not supposed to be on the COVID.
It's the early warning. Warning. The next part of the podcast is a major injurious waste of your time.
Warning, the next part of the podcast is a major injurious waste of your time.
So Ziggy's trip.
So let's just clarify who Ziggy is, because our listeners might not.
Ziggy's the landlord of the barn cave.
He is. He's your dad.
Yeah, he's the old man.
He's your dad.
So Ziggy travels a lot, actually, for his antiquing business.
Yeah.
And I think he couldn't take it anymore because he had contacts in the USA that he was just like, I guess he felt like he was losing such opportunities for his trading and his money making.
Yeah.
So anyhow, well after the date that Trudeau instituted his crazy PCR, whatever.
Yeah, his testing
or was it even after?
His testing regime.
You know what? I can't confirm that. I won't confirm or deny that. But for a absolute certainty, Ziggy popped down and back without the app. That's what he did.
Yes.
Okay, so he had no app.
He went down to New York for what, like the day?
Ziggy popped down to Alexandria Bay, the site of JB's boating incident
boating
from
catastrophe.
whenever. Boating catastrophe.
New York catastrophe.
Yeah, so Ziggy popped down there for the day. Yeah. He's fully vaccinated, has all that documentation, passport, whatever. He's all good to go. So he pops down there, does his wheeling and dealing, comes back. None of us even know he's gone. Like, it's like, ooh, because international travel these days is like, wow, such a rarity. It's like, wow. So anyways, he comes back and I don't know, I think I popped out to check out the barn cave. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Oh, I just got back from New York. Oh, what? Really? Really? Yeah. Went down. Here's the seats I got. Here's what I sold. Well, whoa. How'd you do that? Well, what do you mean? Well, he goes, I got my vaccination. I'm all good. I'm like, well, what about the app? He's like, the what? I said, you have to have the app to go. Yeah. Even if they don't have to test you for the negative test or whatever, you still need the app apparently. Because I told him about some friggin' lady in St. Catharines who popped across the border to Niagara Falls, New York to shop and come back, and they nailed her. Like, she didn't have the stupid app, so they forced her to quarantine. I think they were just making a point, and they charged her $700.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
So he's like, oh, they said I was fine. I'm like, really? Yeah. He goes, I showed them my passport, showed them my proof of vaccination, and they said, how long? All the old questions, how long are you there? What do you buy? And he answered everything. And they're like, so you don't have the app? And he's like, what's that? And they said, he looked at him and said, go ahead. It's like they didn't even want to get into it. Yeah. Right?
Well, your dad, let's clarify also.
Yeah.
He's 79 years old.
He's 79.
Right? So he's probably not big on...
He can play that card.
Exactly. He can play that. I don't know technology cards.
Because he's also no fool. I think he knew damn well he needed it, and he just felt like taking a chance. Because he probably had a fistful of dollars in his pocket, and if they told him to stay for a week, he probably could have.
Yeah.
I think he'd miss my mom's butter tarts, though, if he was gone that long.
Yeah, I would have.
Yeah, but so, anyways, they handed him this sheet of paper that I discovered during the card game last night. That's how this all came to light.
Yeah.
So I'm playing, I'm like, Quarantine Act. I pull this thing out, and there's this big bilingual, like, pamphlet that says,
warning.
I sent it to you, eh?
Yeah, you did. You sent us a picture,
You're contravening the Quarantine Act.
Yeah.
And I'm reading it all, and then my mom's like, yeah, that's what he says doesn't matter. I'm like, I read it all, and he's like, they gave it to me, but they actually said it was fine.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. But it's like,
He basically got a warning. That's it.
What he got was some common sense at the border. Because they were, like, if he didn't have his vaccination, or if he had, for some crazy reason, had a COVID test of some kind that they didn't like, he'd be nailed.
Yeah.
But they were not going to penalize him for not having a friggin' app on his phone.
Yeah.
Like the lady. So there was no health risk. It was procedural. And he still thinks he didn't need it, but he obviously did if they gave him the warning.
Yeah.
But like, thank God there's still people even at the border that look at it and probably shake their heads and say, go ahead.
Well, they're not going to argue with their dad. Like you said, he played the senior card.
That's right.
What is the app? I don't know.
Yeah. But if I pop down to go skiing and shopping, I'm not going to.
Well, I actually didn't even know there was an app you had to.
Yeah, it's Arrive Canada. You friggin' need the stupid app, which is absolutely ridiculous, but it's fairly straightforward.
Yeah.
It actually makes your entry easier, they say, because everything's there and it's tied to your passport. So all you don't even have to show them the app or anything. You roll up, you give them your passport, they scan it, and boom. It's just like an extension to your passport.
So what?
And then everything's there.
So what's your social credit score?
I think it's probably pretty good because I have the app.
Mine
Ziggy's been red flagged.
Oh
that's
yeah.
for sure.
His social credit score is now way low. Yeah, he's on the.
Like if he ever goes to Quebec, I don't know.
If he ever tries to buy insurance or something, they're going to say no insurance for you.
Or he better not go to any tractor seat sales in Quebec.
Exactly.
If they're scanning social credits.
That's right.
Anywho, it's all good on that front.
Yeah,
The international travel was fun to hear he made that trip, and he probably made a few bucks, and he bought the coffee all week while I was out there. So
well, there you go. Yeah. And played ignorance about the.
But then he took all my money playing cards. So I guess it all works out.
He probably had too much whiskey.
Oh, I had a bit of whiskey. That made up for it too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What were you playing? Poker?
It's called President.
Oh, okay.
I guess it's often called Arsehole as well.
Oh, okay.
That game you've ever played?
I've heard that. Yeah, I played that one.
You're probably
long time ago.
You're probably pretty good at Arsehole.
Yeah, because I am an arsehole. Well, my wife thinks I'm an arsehole. Yeah.
How is Al doing?
She's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's next here? We got a million things, and
I know we better get to it.
We're spinning our wheels on cross-border travel, which we can't even really do.
That's a funny story, though. I mean,
that was a good one. Are the Sens still playing?
Oh my God, the NHL! I don't know what the heck is going on there. The Sens have not played.
I don't even remember
in
the
a
last
month.
game.
They have not played in a month.
I have this fun little thing where I'll sit down after dinner and go to TSN and just see who's playing.
Yeah,
they will have a game. There'll always be a game.
Yeah. Like in the States, they're playing.
Yeah. So last
night,
night,
Canadian teams.
Last night,
Sens were supposed to play last night in Vancouver.
Yeah, canceled. But again, canceled not because of COVID, but canceled because of capacity limitations. They're not going to play in front of 18 fans, right?
Yeah, I mean, last year they played without any people in the stands, and now they're not playing.
But you can't blame them now that there's, in the States they got fans and we don't. So
holy jeez, like you see, like 17,000 people in a building, and then they're not even playing here.
I even watched a Leaf game. I was so desperate last
against
night. Colorado.
Colorado came back and won it, eh?
And I was very happy. I was very happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, will you watch games with fans in the stands?
Yeah.
Compared to the ones with no fans in the stands, right? You still don't do that?
If it's the Ottawa Senators, I'll watch. I mean,
with fans?
With either or.
Oh, you will now, because you used to not watch games with no fans.
Last year I watched the games. I mean, and there was no fans.
I didn't know that. I thought you were holding out.
No, I watched last year, and but I just, again, we're getting into a bit of the COVID talk, but I just, it's like, the Sens have not played in a month because they had more players in what the NHL calls the COVID protocol.
Right.
So, same as the other teams they were supposed to play, and then with these latest restrictions in Canada,
I know,
which limits capacities.
Yeah, I can't even keep up.
And I don't even know where. I don't think in Alberta it's the same. So they're supposed to play in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is going to be postponed. But the Vancouver game last night was postponed. They played one game over the Christmas or just before Christmas, and that was like they hadn't played.
They played the one game and they were horrible.
Yeah, they played against the Leafs.
Oh, that yeah.
In a building, in an empty building. And the Leafs, and they were horrible,
brutal. Yeah, I remember that.
But they did have players in COVID. And,
I don't want to remember that one.
It was like 6-1 or something.
I don't even want to remember that.
And it was a brutal game. They were terrible. And poor Matt Murray. I mean, like, I feel for the goalie a bit because people are ragging on this guy when the team in front of them clearly,
it's a team game,
it would have been like 10-1.
Oh, yeah.
With some of the saves he made, it would have been a lot worse.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I think we've proven now that he is not our guy. Sadly.
Well, I don't know.
He's a nice guy.
The problem is,
I know. Gustafsson and Forsberg are
Gustafsson
fantastic.
in his last few games has been just horrendous.
Okay, so Forsberg's the number one.
Forsberg has been playing well.
He's won us some games.
But, again, the team in front of him, they had some players.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, anyways,
it's a disaster.
It is what it is.
It's a disaster all the way around.
I brought that up just to see how fired up you get.
I'm getting pretty fired up. I don't know. I don't know when the Edmonton game is. Is it tonight? I'm not sure.
I don't think it is.
I don't think.
But I thought their next game was going to be back in the States next week. But who knows? Whatever.
Well, there's
Whatever.
still a lot of teams playing,
Yeah.
so I don't even know.
Yeah, they'll be
Like
in the,
that
they'll be
game
in the
last-
playoffs, though.
That game last night, Colorado and Toronto, I mean, it was a packed building.
So super satisfying as a Leafs hater to catch the third. I actually tuned in the third after a couple of Cobra Kai episodes. I had to take a break from that.
Yeah.
And the Leafs were up 4-2, and then they lost 5-4. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. So how about some picks? Why don't we take care of those?
Get into a pick since you
Let's
brought
do
up
some
Cobra
picks.
Kai. The Duff's pick of the week.
Oh yeah, but
we haven't had one
it is
in
not
a few weeks.
We haven't. It's Cobra Kai. I think we've already talked about Cobra Kai way back.
Oh, is that your pick?
No, it's not my pick at all this
okay.
week. It's just a great
All right.
show. Love
Okay.
it. Don't Look Up.
Don't
Netflix.
Look Up on Netflix.
That is going to be my pick.
Right.
And I was mulling it over, and then JB gave me the momentum to throw it right out there.
Yes.
He watched it the other day and loved it.
Yeah, so my wife watched that, and she was trying to get me to watch it.
Yeah.
And I did not.
Why not?
Well,
Don't like DiCaprio?
no, I like DiCaprio.
Is it DiCaprio?
It
No.
is. He was in it, yeah. Leonardo DiCaprio was in it. Leonard DiCaprio.
I don't think he was.
Yeah, he's in that.
Okay, you talk.
Yeah.
You
So
talk.
he's in that. But the problem is,
I think that's someone else.
I'm worried about the whole, as the climate change angle of the whole thing.
But see, that
I
is
don't know
so hidden. Like, it's not, that shouldn't have been a determining factor
I
for you.
don't, well, because I know DiCaprio is
Oh, it
big
is
on.
DiCaprio. Yeah, it
I
was
know
him for sure.
DiCaprio is
Yeah,
big on the whole
Of course he is.
climate change thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well,
So I don't know if it's a propaganda film
well,
or not.
oh my God.
So instead, I watched No Time to Die, James Bond.
What's
Bond.
that?
James Bond. It's the latest Bond film.
Oh, it's not an old one?
No, it's brand new.
Oh,
It's a new one. Just came out
you had
recently.
to pay money to watch that probably then.
Yeah, it was on pay-per-view. It was $7.
You just keep
For-
spending money these
for a-
days. I don't know why.
Well, yeah, well, it's been an expensive start to the year for
That's
sure.
why I'm buying coffee all the time.
Yeah, no, I mean my fridge. I had
Yeah.
to replace. I just replaced that.
Okay.
That was $1,300.
Okay, well, back to Duff's pick here.
New hot goalie mask.
So Don't Look Up. I really liked it just because it made me laugh. There were scenes every, 10, 20 minutes where I just laugh out loud funny.
Yeah. Okay.
Like just because how stupid people are.
All right.
So I didn't think about it in terms of climate change at all. I just thought about it in terms of the sheep blindly marching to the slaughter in so many different ways of modern life. Like there are so many clueless people around us.
I
right?
agree with you. Yeah, but
That's what made it funny. to me.
Yeah.
Whether it's COVID, whether it's climate change, whether it's just
But I can't
morons that can't make their own decisions.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I can't see a Hollywood film
Yeah.
where Hollywood is really progressive these days.
Well, in their own mind, anyways.
Well,
yeah.
sure. But going like calling people sheep when they're the ones that put out the propaganda a lot of times for
no,
this
I know,
stuff.
but a critical thinker can look at all that and just sit back and laugh. Like I loved it. Like,
is it a comedy?
It's a comedy. I don't know how they market it, but I sure laughed a lot, and that's what made it fun for me.
Yeah.
And DiCaprio played a good role. Like he was one of the lead astronomers that discovers this comet coming right for the Earth. And every time they try to get serious, like the talk shows, and everybody just laughs it off.
Oh yeah.
Like that's what it's so good that way. Anyhow, that's
what I'm
Duff's
saying.
pick.
That's the parallel, I
It's
think, for the
amazing.
climate change, because people, well, like me, kind of laugh.
Well, sure it is,
Laugh
but
it off.
I mean, the oh god, don't get me going on climate change.
Okay, I know.
Well, because
This is we have to put a second warning in.
but we don't.
Yeah.
We don't agree on it for sure, you and me, in
No, I
many
think we
ways. Well, to me,
sort of discussed it.
yeah, but you're saying it doesn't happen. Like if
No, that's not true.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Because if climate change isn't happening, we'd still be
I know that.
pancaked under 2 kilometers of ice.
No,
in this
that's what
part
I'm
of the
saying.
world.
Climate change does
Yeah.
happen. My argument is against the man-made climate change.
Sure, okay.
Yeah.
You mean you're saying the creatures of the planet 10,000 years ago weren't driving around in F-150s causing the glaciers to melt?
Well, like you said, I mean, the climate has changed for millions of years.
Well, it has to. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, like, man comes along and drives their, the F-150 studios around.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to add to whatever pollution, but
Exactly.
Is that climate change?
Yeah.
Like there's so many factors. The sun is the biggest one.
So pollution bad, right? That's what
pollution bad. That's what
sadly that's what we've got away from because we're killing this planet in terms of pollution.
Yeah, that's my argument.
But the stupid don't look up people are distracting us from that.
Well, that's it.
And then everyone else is tuning out, and it's a huge negative overall. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the pollution is the problem.
This is not an environmental podcast.
No, but I mean.
Yet if people are listening, they could do so much good by
stop buying F-150s.
Or just stop polluting.
We wouldn't have a studio.
It's got a catalytic converter on it back there. You don't see blue smoke coming out of it.
But you're like complaining you don't want to run the furnace in here because
I'm out of gas.
You're out of gas. And how much does it cost to fill it up?
And I'm out of money.
$175.
Good God, I don't even want to know. If it's $1.40, it is, and I need to fill it up. I'm not going to fill it up. This will be one of those rare occasions where it reminds me of high school when I go put $10 in, and that's it.
That's all I can afford.
Yeah, I'll get home, and then I'll have to go put $10 in tomorrow. I'll have to put $10 in every time I drive.
Exactly.
Good God. Anyhow.
And that won't even get you from Bell's Corners here to your home in
I don't even know.
Bridlewood.
I mean, it's like 14 liters per 100K.
Yeah. I shouldn't complain because my car is almost as bad.
But think about it, 14 liters at $1.40. Oh my God.
Yeah,
it's not going to get me far.
No.
So Duff's pick.
That's Duff's pick. Duff's pick is?
Don't Look Up.
Don't Look Up on
Netflix.
Yeah. Okay.
Now
do we have a Lanark pick?
I do. Let's back to back and right with Lanark pick.
Okay.
So I don't know about you, but when you're sitting down with the wife and you're browsing, what are we going to watch? What are we going to watch? And it's like a lot of the times there's nothing new. Right? Like there's no good new one that you both agree on.
Yeah.
Like you want a comedy, you want this, you want drama.
Usually ours is horror films.
Oh.
Yeah.
Horror, eh?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, my wife's big into the horror films.
Wow. I love the
I think she watched The Exorcist when she was like 6 or 7 years old.
Oh, and it stuck.
Yeah.
Just living in Sudbury is like being in The Exorcist. Eh?
That's very true.
That's where your wife grew up.
That's right.
In the shadow of the Superstack.
That's right.
Gatchel.
Little. Actually, yeah, I think she did live in Gatchel for a bit.
I think so, yeah.
And then went to New Sudbury.
New Sudbury.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then they went to the flour mill.
What's the flour mill?
You know the flour mill area of Sudbury?
No.
It's kind of sketch.
I've never heard of that term. And I know Sudbury. I lived there a few times on and off.
Yeah, so they were there for a few years when they sold the house in New Sudbury, moved into one of their rental properties.
Is the flour mill like the southern, like 69 area?
No.
Oh.
It's past, just north of downtown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they're now out in near 69.
Now they're south.
Yeah.
The Lake District.
Yeah.
Is that where Laurentian is?
No. Laurentian is more inside of the city near Ramsey Lake.
Oh, Ramsey Lake.
Yeah.
Good old Sudbury.
Yeah. Anyway, we digressed.
What were we talking about?
The Lanark pick.
The Lanark pick. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm browsing and it had a bunch of classics, things you would like or whatever. God bless Netflix. Eh? They seem to know just what I'm after at times.
Yeah. The algorithm.
I wanted a good drama, and I found one. It was called Mississippi Burning.
Mississippi Burning.
Remember that one?
Yes, I do.
So I definitely watched it, but
Willem
I watched
Dafoe and Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
What's her name? The one from the one that won the awards there when Mr. Hollywood was on with us.
Frances
McDermott. Yeah, she was in it.
Yeah.
So super great movie, and I loved it a lot because it was so long ago that I watched it. I barely remembered half of it.
Yeah.
Like I'm watching it, I watched it, and it felt like I didn't really know what was going to happen because it's been so long since.
So what's
I
the
watched
plot
it.
of that again? It's about racism, isn't it?
Couple of FBI guys, as you clearly mentioned, Dafoe and Hackman.
Yeah.
Old guy, young guy.
Yep.
Good cop, bad cop
Good
scenario.
cop, bad cop.
Yeah, they're summons down to Mississippi because of some Klan activity and racism.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, extreme.
Yeah.
I couldn't get any worse. And the town itself, super corrupt. The cops, couldn't be more corrupt and more racist. And these guys are coming in with they want the same goal to get to the bottom of some recent murders, basically. And one had old school approach with Hackman and the new school approach with the young guy.
Right.
Anyways.
So Hackman is more not by the book.
Hackman is not by the book, but Hackman is from Mississippi as well, and he gets how things are done.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's using that as a balance to get to the end means, whereas the new guy is all by the book, and that's not really working in a place like Mississippi, who's so backwards, like crazy. Anyways, it was I'm not going to describe a movie that's 40 years old, because probably most of our audience, other than the Podbeanskis, probably have seen it. But just for the folks up in Lanark who are a few years behind, maybe they may not have seen it, and it might be just a perfect video for them. And you know what? I'm sure there's a couple copies on the VCR kicking around that they might be able to find.
That's right.
So our Lanark pick of the week is Mississippi Burning. Yeah. Interestingly enough, there's a Mississippi River that flows right through Lanark County as well. Yeah. How ironic is that?
That is ironic. But yeah, two great actors, though.
Fantastic.
Defoe's still around. He's been in some good ones.
I know.
Recently.
I seriously recommend maybe you have another look at it. See it through a different lens. Yeah. See it through the 2022 lens.
That's right. 2022.
Yeah. Now, you have a couple of stories that can probably, get this show back on track here. Which one do you want to start with? Is he something about a band or the fire in the garage?
Oh, the fire in the garage.
Do the band first.
You want me to do the band first?
The fire is a better story.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, the band is just...
it's just you with a plan.
That's it exactly.
That's all it is.
It's me and...
things you should do, but maybe won't.
Maybe won't. But so I dabble in guitar. I'm really terrible at guitar. But anyway.
I thought you were pretty good. No?
No, not really. I'm pretty terrible.
Okay.
But I've been dabbling for like 40 years almost. And still haven't gotten any better.
Oh, that's funny.
You got to practice. I don't practice.
That's fun.
But so last week I went for a coffee with the number one listener of the podcast. Or he ranks up in the top 3 anyway.
Yeah, he ranks up there. Yeah.
Top 5.
Yeah, one of your neighbors.
Yeah, so my buddy Chris, who helps me with my cafe racer build.
Right. Yeah.
He's
like your mechanical consultant.
He is. Yeah, great guy.
Yeah.
And so I think you guys would get along. He's a very outdoorsy guy as well. Yeah. He's building up a log cabin up in his property.
Guy. Right.
Yeah. So anyway, we
should get us up there some weekend maybe.
Yeah.
Help build the cabin and
absolutely. I told him if he ever needs help.
Yeah, have a few fireballs and a game of cards.
That's right. Yeah. So anyway, I went to have a coffee with him, and we were just chatting, catching up, hadn't seen him in a while. Went down to his basement where he's got one of his bikes stored. He's got a walkout basement.
Oh, so like you, not finished. Like you, he also keeps motorcycles in the house.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. He bought this. I forget.
Mind you, yours is in the bedroom. His is in like a den
mine was in the living room, which is not.
Oh,
this
the
year.
living room.
Yeah.
Okay.
His is in the basement.
Gotcha.
But it's this kind of like a dirt bike. I forget what the exact.
Like an enduro.
It's not an enduro, no, but it's like a specialty dirt bike, and I forget the exact name.
Oh God, not one of those whiny 2-strokes.
It is a 2-stroke. Yeah.
Oh God, they're loud.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
So he's showing me that, and then he's got all this musical equipment lying around. And I was like, oh, yeah. And I go, I've been sort of dabbling again in guitar and playing. So we get out the stuff and start
nice
a little playing.
Jamming
a little bit. And it's like, we should.
Now, was this before or after a few drinks?
We only had the coffee.
Oh, so you guys were lucid when you made this plan. Okay.
So we were like, we should get a little band together and play a few songs. Oh, so he's like, he's got another buddy that's a drummer.
Yeah.
So we put 4 or 5 songs on the agenda, which I kept adding to, but
no kidding.
I got to learn.
Who's the voice in this?
We don't have any yet.
Okay.
But
maybe JB could sing for you.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to have some auditions. Maybe you come by and give it a whirl.
Oh man.
And so we're gonna call ourselves DadBod.
The DadBod.
Yeah.
Plural? Just DadBod.
Oh, it should be plural.
DadBod.
DadBods or DadBod. DadBod because
it almost sounds robotic. It sounds like
we're really not in shape.
Mechanized.
Yeah.
DadBod.
We're really not in shape.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So we'd all wear these cut-off shirts showing our bellies.
Halter tops. That's bad.
It is bad.
That's an image I do not want.
No.
Warning before that.
Exactly. So we had 4 or 5 songs. We got a couple from the Police. We got
cover. You don't even have your own songs.
No, we're gonna do covers.
You'd be a cover band.
Yeah, we got a couple from the Police. We've got a Cream song in there.
Oh God.
We've got
Say No More.
We've got
No, I'm serious. Say No More.
Oh really? We added one from Judas Priest. We added one from the Cult.
Any poison?
Oh, no poison.
Why not?
No.
Well, that's that kind of era. Like, might as well go with one of the top 3 bands of the era.
Never go for poison. I'm going to suggest a Megadeth song.
That's like
one of their
metal.
easier ones. Yeah.
All you need is someone banging drums for that.
Yeah, exactly. And a lead guitar player.
But I suppose.
Anyway.
Okay.
So that's the DadBod.
So let's
DadBods or DadBod?
Let's fire it up with your other story.
Yeah. So this is crazy too.
This is do not do this at home.
We should put in do not try this at home warning.
Yeah, this is just a good example of of the way your mind works, I'd say.
Exactly.
Okay. Because when you first told me this, I questioned our whole relationship. So DDT walks into his garage and sees some sort of liquid puddle.
Yes.
And his first thought is he doesn't know what it is and he wants to deal with it. I'll let you continue with the story.
So as I said, my buddy there, Chris, helped me with my Cafe Racer motorcycle build. Right. And I said, I go outside and I'm like, okay, I've got to do something to the bike here. So I do a little thing and then all of a sudden it starts leaking. I'm like, what's leaking? And it's not, it's coming out of the crankcase of the motorcycle.
Okay.
So the bottom of the engine, basically.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if it was oil or gas.
Yeah.
So anyway, I moved the bike back to where I had it. It's still leaking on the ground. Come out the next day. My garage floor is not the best.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's over the years it's broken up a little bit. So there's this little depression in the floor.
Yeah.
And it actually got filled up with this liquid, which I'm not 100% sure because it looks like oil.
Yeah.
But
any odor?
But that's the thing. It wasn't.
No odor.
There was kind of like a
chemically.
Well, it does smell like gas, but at the same time, but not.
Okay.
So I moved the bike away. I'm like, what is this in here? So I'm like dipping my finger in it, right, and smelling it in my nose, and I can't really smell. There is no smell. So I'm like, well, let's just see if it's gas. Here's my brilliant idea.
Yeah.
To see
Here we go, folks.
If it's gas, instead of sopping it up.
Yeah.
I go get the matches.
Yeah, let's just burn it off.
I'm going to burn it off.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if it lights on fire.
Yeah. But sadly, it's not just a sheen on smooth asphalt.
No.
It is a depression. It's a volume of fuel.
There is a volume of fuel
which could
in there.
be quite flammable.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
explosive, no less.
Yeah. So I light up a couple matches. The first couple don't burn out. Nothing.
So it's not very flammable.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, it's not flammable. Well, then I take a third match.
Yeah.
And I light it up and I stick it right in there and I'm holding it there. Okay, it's not lighting. It takes about 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and all of a sudden it does light.
Yeah.
So now I got this flame.
But it's like burning a slow flame. Like, it's not just, it's not like really going.
No. It's just got this flame coming out.
It's burning, though.
Yeah, it's burning.
You have an uncontrolled fire in the middle of your garage.
Exactly.
From an unknown source.
But I guess it's a mixture of oil and gas, which is probably why it didn't light on fire right away. So anyway, I got this flame going, and it's burning off. And I'm like, okay, well, it is flammable. I might as well just stop this thing now, right?
Oh my God.
So I go and I stamp on it. Of course, like you said, it's a depression. So it's a volume of liquid.
Yeah.
And what does that do?
Oh, right. This is the funny part.
It spreads the fire out and lights my boot on fire.
Yeah. Lovely.
So now I got my boot on fire with the flame spread out over like a foot of area.
Multiple fires now.
Yeah, like there's
in
this
your
big
garage.
flame now.
Yeah.
It's like not contained to this little thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh shit. Right? My boot's on fire, so I stomp my boot out. Fire goes out of my boot, but now I got this big flame going in my garage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I got to smother this out. So I go grab a towel that I had in the garage, like an old towel, whatever. I put it over the flame.
It'd be funny if it was an old towel that you had previously used
soaked
to
in
soak
gas.
up fuel.
It wasn't.
It wasn't, though. Okay.
But I put it over the flame. Of course, the towel gets soaked with the gas because there is a volume there.
Good God.
The towel starts to light on fire.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I got this towel that's flaming up. So I boot that out of the garage into the snow, so everything is good there. But the fire's still going on in the garage. Smoke's pouring out.
surprised your kids haven't come out with marshmallows on sticks by now.
Exactly. Smoke's pouring out. So I'm like, okay, I go grab a shovel. I go grab a bunch of snow. And the snow
what a mess.
puts it out.
Yeah.
But now I got this big black spot,
Yeah.
you know, on the floor of my garage.
And melted snow water. And
Exactly.
Scummy old
And so I had to like
everywhere.
brush it all out. So it was obviously, like I said,
You averted disaster.
I
though.
averted disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I didn't
had a
burn
nice
down the
story to
garage.
share.
Yeah. So it was like one of those things. What are you thinking?
What are you thinking?
What are you doing?
Now there's
Why
a
did-
future segment.
Exactly.
What were you thinking?
What was I thinking? I have no idea what I was thinking.
Let's remember that.
Yeah.
What were you thinking? Yeah, okay.
I was thinking that I wanted to see what kind of liquid it was.
Well, or you were thinking just a quick way to get rid of it all. If it really was just a sheen of gas, it'd be...
It would have burned off quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
But because it was a little puddle,
mixture of shit, too,
well, it was
though.
a puddle,
Yeah.
so it would have taken a bit of time to burn out. But
Yeah.
my mistake was stomping on it with my foot because I
Gosh.
splashed the liquid. If I had just, well, the other thing I should have done too before I set it on fire was had the safety stuff going first,
Had your fire extinguisher, a bucket of water.
or the snow in the shovel, so just to put it out, rather than stomping on it with my foot. So
Things
that
to
was the
learn.
real dumb part.
Things to learn.
Exactly.
So the next time you want to do it, you'll be all set.
I'll be set. Like I
Good
didn't think
Lord.
about the safety aspect
Yeah.
before I went and did this.
Safety first, DDT.
I know.
Safety
I know.
first.
But fortunately, I didn't burn down the garage.
Oh, good for
I
you.
was just worried that it was going to hit like the bike next to it because I did
There
have
goes
a
your
cover
bike
on it.
project. Yeah.
Well, no, the other bike is
The
my
other bike.
regular bike.
Oh, okay.
But I did have a cover on it, and then if I had to hit the cover and set the cover on fire, that would have really screwed.
I think it would have been funnier if your wife opened the door at the peak.
Oh, she did come
at
out.
the peak of the disaster.
Yeah, she did come out to go for a walk. She said, "What's all that smoke?"
Yeah, after the fact.
I
though.
know.
Yeah, it'd be funnier if she came out and got crazy mad at you or something.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, so like.
Well, hang on. Speaking of crazy mad, let me get my Stittsville window story out of the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You don't even know this yet.
No.
Well, you know they came, did
Yeah,
a wonderful
you did
job.
all your windows. Yeah.
So real, just positive shout out to the crew. Like beautiful installation job.
Yeah.
Great guys. Like no issues at all with the actual guys that came out to do the job. Right.
Yeah.
2 days they did like, I don't know, like 30 some windows or whatever. Beautiful 2 doors. Everything's perfect.
Yeah.
Can I say clowns? The clowns that
just did.
run the company. I'm so frustrated with them. So we applied to the Green Grant
Right.
program.
Yes. Yeah.
Another fiasco in different ways. This stuff, right? Online. Anyways, had our audits done. Great guy that did the audits too, though. Nice engineer fella. Came a couple times, pre-audit, post-audit. He's done everything right. The crew did everything right. We're doing everything right, we think, to get our money back, whatever. Long story short, anyone that does these green retrofits can apply to this grant program.
Right.
And get up to, $5-6 grand back.
Right. Yeah.
So we're applying. We've done everything right. Audit guy says, hey, if you can get Stittsville Windows to just take 2 minutes to differentiate the caulking around the windows as a separate item, you could get an extra $800 back.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Here's an example. So he shows us a receipt from another client where they got the window job and then they broke it down. They itemized it so that the caulking was X amount of dollars.
Okay.
That's what we need. We'll get you another $800.
Interesting.
Great.
Yeah.
Dear Stittsville Windows, could you please blah, blah?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Oh.
Write email another guy, the manager. Dear Stittsville Windows, great job. Love the work. We're so happy with everything. Could you please? Oh, you know what? Sorry. The first time my wife asked, it was a flat out, oh no, we don't do that.
Huh?
I'm like, okay. So then they did acknowledge the request once.
Right.
Because at the back of my mind, I was like, well, when you email someone, oh, maybe they just never got it. They got it.
They got it. They denied it.
They just said no. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, this is customer service. You can help us get $800.
Yeah.
No. So
How long does it take them to
Anyways,
that invoice?
Oh my God. Like, this is something that could literally be done in 15 seconds
it's
if
not
they
hard to
really
just
wanted
break it
to.
down. Yeah.
Super annoying. So Sent another one, sent it to the manager, but I totally gave up because you get to the point where you're like questioning whether you're losing your mind. And I think I might have been losing my mind.
Yeah.
Expecting something different, doing the same thing, like insanity, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's my vent of the week is...
How about if all the listeners, the Baginskis, bombard Stittsville windows with
what good would that
emails?
Do? But again,
get Duff's breakdown.
No, Duff does not want that. Duff feels really bad for the good folks at companies that do the work.
Yeah.
Right? Because like I say, I'd hate to see some mass exodus from Stittsville windows.
Yeah. Oh,
like that's not what I want. Because
No.
again, the crew, the end of the day, super happy with all the work, but the management leaves a little something to be desired when they can't figure out a way to take a couple of minutes to send us a breakdown of costs so we can get $800. Like, super disappointed in that. And anyway, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but that's the gist of it. And I tell you, it under a normal situation when you don't have to worry about rebates and stuff, sure, I still recommend Stittsville windows because the crews were fantastic. Yeah. But if you've got to deal with the management on rebates to get extra money back or stuff, forget it. Like they just simply didn't want to work with me on it.
Yeah, that's my problem. It reminds me of I had my
customer service, man.
Yeah, it reminds me of when I had my roof done in 2020 fall there, where I had I'm going to say it, Roof Master.
Oh, you could have got some rebates back then too, maybe.
I probably could have, but anyway, Roof Master comes, so they give me a quote and good price on the quote, obviously. Yeah. And then they end up having to put a new plywood down on my roof, and it
I remember
doubled the price of my home. But anyway,
kidding, yeah.
Yeah,
double the price of the job.
Of the job, sorry, I said home, double the price of the job.
Yeah.
And then, so after the job's finished, I don't hear from anybody.
Yeah.
Nobody, the foreman didn't come and
they didn't even send you a bill or anything?
Well, they didn't come to look at the job and tell me, what do you think of it? They didn't ask. The foreman I never saw. The guys were there for a week.
Yeah.
And were getting pissed off because, it took them so long. But that's not my problem because they're the ones that said I needed to put the new plywood on. So anyway, I don't hear from them at all. Like you said, for an invoice or anything.
Oh, so they haven't charged you?
No.
It's ridiculous.
So about 3 weeks, a month later, I got a call from them out of the blue.
Yeah.
Some dude starting giving me crap.
Because you haven't paid.
Because I haven't paid.
Yeah.
Well, he's like all of a sudden, like,
what do I owe you, buddy?
Yeah. He goes, you haven't paid us.
Yeah.
He starts giving me crap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I didn't hear from you guys. You haven't sent me a friggin' invoice.
Yeah.
And then we leave it at that. And then I get a call the next day.
Yeah.
From a woman from the company.
Yeah.
And she's like, I go, yeah, I just talked to the guy yesterday. He was giving me crap. She goes, oh, yeah. His people skills are not the best. And I'm like, well, then why do you have him calling people?
Did she say, we just hired him from Stittsville Windows?
He must have. Like, why do you have this guy calling people? Like, he works in accounts receivable.
Yeah.
I said, why do you have this guy calling people then if his people skills are not the best? Because the first thing he does is attack me.
That's pretty funny.
And I said, lady, not one of you guys have called me to ask me about the job.
Yeah.
I've never seen your foreman. You also didn't leave me shingles to reshingle my little cupola.
That's weird, eh?
Yeah. And I haven't received the invoice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you saved paying for a while anyways.
Oh, my God. Like, it was ridiculous.
It's
these customer service sometimes is
But
very
these companies are just so overworked, I guess, overwhelmed with stuff, which is so strange, right, in today's world. But, finding that level of customer service, like anyone can have great customer service when you're quiet and when nothing's happening. But let's focus on the customer service even when you're busy like that.
Oh, that's it.
That's what we need, and it's sadly not there. Right?
No. Well, you would think after I spent $17,000 on a roof that they would send somebody out and ask me how
Same thing.
was.
Like with the window job, like I told them straight up too, and I'm done. Well, I guess I'm not done. But in my email, I said, look, we're in the middle of the curve, I guess, to getting new windows in our neighborhood. Bunch of people have already got them, but a ton of people are going to get it done.
Yeah.
And people ask around. People say, hey, like, where'd you get your windows and stuff? And it's like, I'm just honest. When I'm asked, I'll be honest.
Well, that's not even your first time in dealing with the management there because they took months to to even let you know.
Oh God, all that too.
Yeah.
But see, that's where I'm very fair though. I get the fact that the supply chains are stressed, and it took a long time to get stuff.
My point is that they should be communicating with you
100%
about all that stuff and say, listen, because you call them up, and they're like scrambling to find your stuff.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot about all that. I had to go right in there and say what's happening.
Exactly, and they're all sitting around playing cards.
That's right. Well, I don't know if they were playing cards.
Well, they were doing something.
Having a chat, having a little cup car coffee huddle. I don't know. But and then it was funny because when we got a cold call out of the blue, like, oh, your windows are in. Can we come tomorrow? And we're
what?
My poor wife had to deal with that, and it's like, oh. You know what? We dropped everything because who knows if we said no and the next opportunity would be. Yeah. Anyways, it's enough of that. Enough of that.
Really,
what do we got left?
We're
Anything?
50 minutes up here, but we had a lot to talk about.
Well, you know what? I'm saving these 3 beautiful points then for making soup, Ford stock, and the Barn Cave campfire.
Oh yeah, you smell.
And like the Cheshire cat campfire.
Oh yeah.
I'll say that really quick because we'll try to end on a positive.
Yeah,
here.
Let's end on a positive.
Got a wonderful local business, the Cheshire Cat Pub on Carp Road.
It is a positive, but in a way, it's kind of a negative.
It's sad. It's sad. Yeah. It's super sad. Yeah. But it goes to show you how there's still some small business owners out there that are just doing everything humanly possible to survive. So the Cheshire Cat's an amazing little pub that we support all the time. Yeah. And they pivoted right to the outdoor patio in
And yesterday,
it was what? There. Yeah, it was minus 15.
Well, the wind chill was even colder.
Yeah.
And you guys had not only that from your picture, like there's other people there.
I know.
Sitting in front. Well, I mean, you're sitting in front of a fire. But but it's still freezing
for sure. But I go right back to the government announcements, right? When this is closed, that's closed. But we will keep outdoor dining open in Canada in January.
Oh God.
I don't think I've never been on a patio in January eating outside till yesterday.
Did you eat?
We had some chicken fingers and fries, just a little something after our skate, but a couple of nice beverages. And like to paint the picture here, we had a parking lot that was converted into a whole bunch of fire pits, and around each one was a bunch of Adirondack chairs.
Yeah, but that's, again,
beautiful.
They have extra expense to do as well. No kidding. Right?
No
so
kidding.
They got to go buy the fire pits, buy the chairs.
Buy the firewood even,
like
buy everything.
The firewood.
Yeah. But...
and then you were at your barn cave.
Yeah,
which,
so...
I haven't been there since...
You haven't been in a while.
Yeah.
Well, you guys were invited and then left. You wouldn't stay, remember? Anyways, so everything I own smells like fire now. But
you've been enjoying yourself out there.
It's been fun.
And was it cold the other night? You slept in your camper.
It was fresh.
And your furnace is not working.
The stupid furnace isn't working, but the electric heat kept it around 0, I'd say. Mind you, it was like minus 25 outside.
What do you sleep in there?
I have a queen-size bed and a lovely sleeping bag.
Okay.
Yeah, it works. It's good. But back to the cat for a second. I mean, just a huge shout out to that business. And the experience they've created, I really think people need to realize it's not just, you're not going there for charity, like, oh, let's support them. You're actually getting a neat experience. Mm-hmm. You're hanging out by a really nice campfire.
Yeah, I mean...
And you're getting, like, great food and drinks at the same time.
Yeah.
It was a fun experience.
It is, but, I mean, it's
not for everyone. No, like, not Eastside Mario's can't.
No, Eastside Mario's
all of a sudden throw a patio.
Any of those chains.
Anyone, yeah.
No. They have the space there to do it.
Yeah, but, I mean, so not everybody does this. But they were busy, and we got in and out by 4 because they had reservations at 4.
Okay.
And my wife and I looked at each other and laughed because it was cold and it was getting colder.
Yeah.
So we're like, can you imagine booking at sunset to sit outside?
Jesus.
There's some hardy folks around.
There is. Yeah.
But they're making some money and
Get your hot paws out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the fire itself is pretty hot. Like it was a really good fire. I mean, I'd go back there for sure. Yeah. Hopefully we have the option to go inside, but hey.
Yeah. Maybe at some point.
Whatever, right? Yeah. Whatever.
I mean, I wouldn't do it, but.
Nah, whatever. You don't do much outside.
No.
At any time.
Oh my God. Not in the winter.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No, I'm not a big outdoor winter person.
You don't say. Yeah.
But it's good that you and JB, like, if we had a three-way group text, I mean, it would be really two-way group text.
Us talking about going
your bikes
outside.
And outdoor biking, and
he really jumped onto the spiked tire thing
the
lately.
Spiked tires and all this
good
stuff.
for him.
I have nothing to add to those conversations.
No, you don't.
No.
You just kind of sit back and listen.
Read it and go disliked.
Oh boy. Well, speaking of disliked, I think it's time to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Hopefully, all our Podbean skis are having a wonderful start to 2022.
Unlike
and we'll
my expenses.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll dig into the mailbag maybe next week and talk a little bit about the Ford stock and whatever else. See if we're up or down this time next week.
I bought some. Yeah.
Yes, got you into that, eh?
Yeah.
And that's it.
All my investing comes from you, even though we say it's for entertainment.
That's
purposes.
true. Yeah, which is scary. But you wait long and hard and make sure it's going in the right direction before you jump in, eh?
I do.
Yeah.
Which is usually too late.
Down.
Exactly.
Folks, that's Cop Car Coffee.
That was long, but we had a lot of stuff.
That was long. We had a ton to talk about.
It's good that we had it now because you'd have to turn the furnace back on.
Yeah, and
you're out of gas.
I'm freezing and I gotta pee.
Yeah.
And
my foot's starting to get cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to start my car.
All right. I'll start mine too. I want to see if we can hear yours. Oh, very gentle.